Day 9 of your astrological Advent Calendar. Today is the Mars-Saturn square. We talked about that yesterday. Fingers crossed that everything's all good and that this is the worst thing that happens, is me wearing this sweater. Actually, I'm being a little bit silly about the sweater. I actually really like it. I've decided I like it. So I'm going to show it to you. Yesterday, if you were with me, I previewed the back, and here we go. This is the front. It's whimsical, it's silly, but also it has some meaning, as everything always does. So I took a picture and I said to Google AI, just the lens, what do you think? It says, the ugly Christmas sweater you have features Santa Claus riding a cow that's on a bouncy spring. The design falls into a popular category of cow ugly Christmas sweaters. Did you know that that was a category? I had no idea. There are so many different cow Christmas sweaters. Oh my gosh. It even knows the embellishments. It sees that the specific design includes an applique elements such as the cow and the Santa figure with sunglasses and a small gingerbread man on his vest. I did not even notice that there's a small gingerbread man on his vest, but there absolutely is. I am part of the cow Christmas sweater group now. This is kind of exciting. Oh, I accept. Okay, back to the astrology. We're talking about this Neptune stationary direct at 29 degrees Pisces because it's the end of an era. The last 14 or 15 years has culminated at this point, at this moment. We won't be seeing Neptune in Pisces again in our lifetime. Neptune is about to go into Aries in the beginning of 2026. With it being at the end degrees, the 29th degree is an anaretic degree, but it's the end of all before it resets. To get a few keywords to understand Neptune a little better, we're going to go to the archetypal universe. Ren Butler, my go-to guy, he says Neptune corresponds to the ultimate reality. Reality, I need glasses. That's what the reality is. Neptune corresponds to the ultimate reality principle, the divine source itself, and our deepest yearnings to reconnect with it. Remember where we came from and where we are going. That is the key, where we came from and where we were going. In the mornings, I usually have these download moments right after I wake up. And I had one about Neptune. It was all about the night. Have you ever had that experience where maybe you're worried about something and you wake up in the night and it feels like there's no answer? It just is despondency. It just feels like the worst case scenario, right? It's just terrible feeling. And then the morning comes along and it still feels kind of bad, but you're like, oh, well, you see things in the light of day. That is what I was thinking about as a good analogy of how Neptune can be in the darker side. There's some like nightmarish quality because at night we're more vulnerable. When we go to sleep, we basically get paralyzed. And Neptune is the realm of dreams, the subconscious. The subconscious is half of our life. We're in a sleep state, right? Or a dream state. And how much of that do we remember? It's like we get little bits and pieces of memories, little fragments. Or there will be a few dreams that in your life that feel like inception, like feels realer than reality. Or you're 3 levels deep into this dream state. The shadows and the fear that come sometimes with Neptune is because we are very vulnerable in that state. And it's hard to see. It's hard to see in the dark. Neptune is the farthest gas giant out there. Pluto, he's a rocky dude out at the edges, but the last gas giant, the real last planet, is going to be Neptune for us. When it's placed into Pisces, where it's been since 2011, 2012, it's in the space of the anti-boundary. There is no such thing as a boundary. This is the nebula. A nebula is the nursery of stars. And Saturn has been there with Pisces, helping out. So I think in the last 2.5 years, tell me what you think, but there's been a resurgence of a desire for structured religion and structured spirituality where there's some sort of container for it. I think that's Saturn. Saturn in Pisces has gone through, like a lot of people are going back to church. Even astrology has a structure that everything that people are connecting to, even if it's nature, there's some sort of structure that they're falling into and following, which is really, really nice. We needed to go through these experiences of confusion and delusion and beauty and spirituality to know what is real. What is your foundation? What are you willing to fight for? You've got to be worth it. Know thyself. We're coming back to that space. Maybe that was the last 0 degree conjunction of back in ancient Greece. I don't know. Know thyself above the Oracle of Delphi's entrance. The other thing about night and Neptune is that we only see reality, what really, really is out there in the night. We can't see it during the day. The stars are other suns. The stars are galaxies. The stars are nebulas. They're hard to comprehend how vast and how powerful all the energy that's built into outer space and how small we are. All this is pointing to a new era for humanity. I really truly believe that. Individually directed, individuation path, your connection to God, your connection to spirit, whatever you want to call it, to the divine, seeing the oneness. It's coming through all over the place. I see a lot of videos on my feed, obviously, because the stuff I watch, but it's a lot of scientists that are talking about consciousness. One guy, Maya Bialik, I don't know if you know her podcast. I just recently started watching it. She is a neuroscientist. She's a PhD. She was also Blossom and on the Big Bang Theory and in Beaches. She's very smart and she's really interested in science and spirituality and consciousness. So her guests, I've watched 2 episodes. One was an Italian guy that he actually was the creator of the microprocessor or something like that that we have in our phones that changed that reality. And then he had a divine intervention, an awakening. He realized the oneness of all things. And George Harrison from the Beatles, after the post-Beatles, I just watched a little video of him too, where he says that you can say that, we are all one, and you can say that, but intellectually it doesn't make any sense unless you yourself feel it, unless you yourself experience it. It's meaningless. It's just another couple set of words together. The reality is feeling it yourself, and that's the individuation that we're looking for. Story time today, we're talking about the 3 wise men in the nativity story. They were following a star that was an omen. This was probably a Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, is what they're saying. Those 3 astrologers knew something was happening, and it was probably the indication of the age of Pisces shifting from the age of Aries. Everything that moves backwards, right? So now we're going into the age of Aquarius, which aligns with the age of the computer. All these things, the machine, the singularity, but also a humanitarian idealism. So we're in for some new curriculum in the next 2,500 years or so. Crystal Advent Calendar time, day number 9. This one is cool. Easy to figure this one out. It's a red agate. They have some sort of translucence. You can kind of almost see through them. Willpower, protection, grounding, carry for daily strength, and emotional stability. As we go with Neptune moving, stationing direct at 29 degrees, we're really rethinking what is this that we need to have the willpower to express. Something that we have to be willing to protect. It brings us into an emotional stability with whatever comes next. I think this is the most critical thing. It's the most important thing to understand where your connection is, make it personal, make it however you want. Emotional stability going forward is going to be very important for us. I like you just the way you are. Thank you very much for another beautiful day together and letting me share my sweater. My cow couture Christmas sweater. All right, I'll talk to you tomorrow, day 10.